FBI Director Christopher Wray is now set to meet with House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer.
And it comes after Comer threatened him with contempt proceedings for refusing to provide those documents to the panel that could detail a pay-to-play scheme involving then Vice President Joe Biden. This is according to multiple reports.
Yeah, in fact, Comer is telling Newsmax that he has even notified the FBI of Wray's fate before Congress if he does not comply. And here is the congressman on the balance with our Eric Bowling.
Because he's disrespected the subpoena, I notified him just a few minutes ago that if we don't get those Form 1023s, as well as an answer as to whether or not the FBI investigated these claims, then Christopher Wray would be held in contempt of Congress.
Now let's welcome in former foreign policy advisor to candidate Donald Trump, George Papadopoulos. He also was a main target of the Mueller investigation. And back with us again, attorney Aaron Elmore, for more conversation on this. Thank you both for being here.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Now, here is the FBI statement on this. Let's take a look at that. Releasing confidential source information could, as they say, potentially jeopardize the investigation and put lives at risk. The FBI remains committed to cooperating with Congress's oversight on this matter and other matters as well. Now, that's all well and good, Aaron, but we also see, and we were just talking about this with Devin Nunes, drip, 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 constant leaks to the press about what's going on with Jack Smith's Mar-a-Lago investigation. All kinds of leaks that involve Donald Trump, but you never hear anything about the investigation of the Biden family.
Of course not, because our three-letter agencies are essentially an arm of the Democrat Party. And I think the average American sitting at home is scratching their head saying, what is happening in Washington? Are there two standards of justice? We hold all of these Senate hearings, and we see all of these people in Washington going on television saying they're going to hold the Biden family accountable, but nothing ever happens. We see whistleblowers being completely attacked and their lives ruined, and again, we see nothing. So hopefully we see people holding their feet to the fire more and more. Contempt of Congress, if that's what it takes, then we'll take it, because the American people deserve to know the truth about the Bidens and, by the way, the Clintons.
Yeah, that FBI statement, I mean, political lives are at risk here. And that's what really it boils down to. You mentioned the IRS, whistleblowers, Aaron. He personally, came forward and said he witnessed interference by the DOJ in the Hunter Biden investigation. Here's part of what he's saying.
There was multiple steps that were slow walked at the direction of the Department of Justice.
Had you ever encountered that before?
I have not, no. These deviations from normal process, and each and every time it seemed to always benefit the subject.
Pressure's mounting, isn't it, George?
Absolutely, and this is a significant escalation by Chairman Comer, and if he continues down this path, he could be a very consequential chairman that we haven't seen over the past decade, because he's actually putting action to his words. He is coming with receipts. We can't forget that Chairman Comer released a statement about bank records highlighting that the Biden family took over $5 million from various foreign governments, including China and Romania. And now we have these various whistleblowers coming out in which not only are they being threatened with retaliation from the FBI or the IRS in the event that they do continue to escalate their rhetoric against the Biden family, we're going to continue to have this unless there are safeguards in place. And that's why what Congressman Comer is doing is so important, putting Wray's feet to the fire and holding him in contempt if he does not produce these documents, because as of now, perception is reality, and the FBI looks as if they are being deputized to enforce not only a Democrat woke ideology in America, but also to be the muscle behind the Biden family.
Now, I know you guys will both be watching very closely. We talked about this at the top of the show, the pending testimony from John Durham. We'll all be watching with popcorn to see what he says. But I also wanted to ask you guys about something that Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis both seem to agree on at this point. There's plenty of time to talk about what they disagree on, but both are sending the signal, Aaron, that they will pardon some of these folks that are being convicted as a result of these January 6 investigations most recently. And again, I'm not saying that they're going to pardon Stewart Rhodes, but they are talking about pardoning them in general. The question, though, for you is this. 18 years for Stewart Rhodes, Aaron, that seems pretty extreme.
Of course, I talked earlier about two standards of justice, and we see here, if you're a Republican and do activities associated with Republicans, you face severe jail time. But if you're a Democrat, you do absolutely nothing. We even see this happening in the civilian population. If you're defending your home in a liberal state, you're going to jail. If there's a carjacking and you fire back, you're going to jail. We saw what happened with Penny on the subway in New York City. So basically, we can't expect them to not do it to us. And that's what we always say. Be careful, you're next. And as to the statement about Ron DeSantis pardoning Donald Trump, I think that's nothing more than a talking point, and he should know better as a Harvard-educated attorney who also served in the JAG. These are state charges with Alvin Bragg in New York, and we see pending or possibly upcoming charges in the state of Georgia. The president only has the power to pardon over federal criminals. So on a statewide level, that is not up to DeSantis. It would be up to the governor. So I'm surprised that he even uttered that talking point. However, the point that you're going to pardon these other people.
Oh, yeah, he likes that talking point. He gets to mention, it's his way of kind of saying he's going to defend Donald Trump in a way, but highlight the fact that all these investigations are ongoing.
Yeah.
George, great to
Crafty.
see you. Aaron.